We were told we could have it all. Have the career, have the kids, have the blah, 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 have the pets, take care of your parents, buy the house, blah, blah, blah. Like, be the breadwinner. We were told you can have it all. We also took that message and we're trying to do it all. And this is the problem. It's a very like masculine output approach instead of what is more alignment with our flow and our hormones and our cycles is much more of like a collective process and shared responsibilities. It's more of like a matriarchal approach to having it all, where like there's resources shared and it's more communal, right? So I truly, truly believe that the increased stress from modern lifestyles of women really being told that we can have it all, and thus in order to have it all, you have to do it all, has been so problematic. That's like such that kind of approach to living that works with men's physiology. It works with women's physiology in the first part of our cycle, in the follicular cycle, but half the month, it's a direct mismatch. And I truly believe that's really what has led to like excess chronic stress levels in women. And then you put on top of that, so many women are, they're working crazy hours, moms or caring for others, over exercising, under eating. If you add all these up together, it's like one of those would have been enough stress. But when you add all these together, and then it's like, oh, women carrying the weight of the world with all the world's problems. It's like, there's just too much. It's too much. And so many women we talk to, they're not even really aware of how stressed they are, especially if you've been running off of stress hormones. Oh, and then you're not eating breakfast. Oh, and then you're trying to intermittent fast. It's like, no, 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 no. Again, one of those would have been enough. But when you put all this together, it's just like, no wonder we're suffering. No wonder perimenopause is worse. I think, lesser on that list is like, environmental toxins. One of the bigger ones is like indoor living, artificial light, because of its impact on blood glucose levels and your cortisol levels, poor sleep, all of this. But a lot of that is impacted because we're trying to do it all. So what makes this worse? Real quick here, and then we're going to talk about how to mitigate symptoms both in menstruation and perimenopause. Artificial blue light, lack of sunlight, having like blood sugar fluctuations, not strength training enough, so missing that muscle building, sitting most of the day. This is a stressor. Remember that spectrum we talked about, like under exercising and over exercising. Coffee before breakfast, that increases your cortisol. Alcohol, we will go there in a minute. Staying up super late, poor sleep, too much stress. Like, I just talked to someone the other day and it was like, she's like, wakes up at 5 a.m. to do HIIT workouts. And I get it. I really do get it, because it's like, where are you going to fit this in? And then she's got lunches to make and breakfast and kids and drop-offs and blah. And I'm like, this is too much for you. You cannot handle that kind of stress. It's actually backfiring. Whereas if you start to prioritize sleep and nourishing yourself and doing a little bit less, your body will start to come into that homeostasis place. Low protein, and then xenoestrogens. These are estrogen mimicking molecules that increase estrogen in the body and then make you feel like, party girl, 4 a.m. No, we don't want any of that. So let's talk about, what can you do actually to mitigate these symptoms? First and foremost, just like we've been talking about, that those tier 1 hormones, insulin and cortisol, right? You need to get those in check. That's your stress and your blood sugar. This is what we teach over and over. If you haven't joined our program, get into it. This is what we do. It will freaking change your life. In perimenopause, then later, some of the little nuanced strategies you need to focus on is more bioavailable protein. This is really when we're approaching about 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body weight, possibly like your overall body weight. It just depends. And this is really where it's bio-individual. And then many women become insulin resistant, and you need to get creative and experimental with your carbohydrate intake. So not only how much overall, but how much at any given time, like your max threshold for carbohydrates at a given meal, and then your type of carbs. So this might be a time when, you may not be able to tolerate more simple carbs, simple sugars. You might only be needing to focus on more on like high fiber fruits and vegetables. This is also what we do in our Awaken Your Cycles program. We all wear the constant glucose monitors, and we help identify those bio-individual needs and adjustments that can really help alleviate a lot of these symptoms. So again, focusing on whole foods and then finding your per meal carbohydrate max. This is a little graph here. I love this graph of like, what does it actually mean when we're talking about balanced blood sugar and imbalanced blood sugar? So ideally, you kind of want this like, it's like every time you eat, especially if you have carbs or protein on its own, you're going to have a blood sugar spike. But what you want to avoid is these high spikes and drops, because in these drops, as your blood sugar tries to reach homeostasis and come back to this same level, baseline level, that's when feelings of like physiological hunger can come in, even if you like just ate, 30 minutes to an hour ago. So our main focus in our 12-week program, Awaken Your Nutrition, is how to curate and put together meals throughout your day to keep your blood sugar steady, because then you're not fighting like the hunger monster and mood swings. Like imbalanced blood sugar exacerbates, PMS symptoms, perimenopause, all of that. So what are some signs of erratic blood sugar? This could be really, really high, really, really low blood sugar. So if you're missing a meal and you're really shaky, cravings, headaches, irritability, mental fog, waking in the middle of the night, mood swings, energy highs and lows. But the thing to note here, again, not all erratic blood sugar is caused by carb intake. So other factors that can impact how much blood glucose spikes that you have includes skipping meals. So again, my story from the beginning, like I was not eating breakfast and trying to delay my first meal till 12 p.m. And this just set me up for a cortisol roller coaster and nightmare, because then your body's going into this stress state and looking for energy. It's looking for food. It's looking for glucose. So then it's like cortisol's pumping, releases blood glucose into the body. And this is like how I developed prediabetes. I was able to reverse that, but that's how it started. Too much intermittent fasting, especially skipping breakfast. Now, can intermittent fasting be helpful as a strategy in perimenopause and menopause? Absolutely. But at the right time of day, when you are the least insulin sensitive, which is the end of the day. So if you're going to skip any meal, make it skip dinner. You do not want to skip breakfast, ladies. It's a hard no. It's a hard no. All right. The other things that can spike your blood glucose levels include artificial blue light. So I have a heavy red filter software on my screen right now, so I don't need to wear my blue blocking glasses. This is such a big one. And then also like lack of natural light. So in Awaken Your Cycles, in our Awaken Your Cycles program, we talk about the importance and the impact of how natural light regulates your hormones from the top tier hormones all the way down. So if you want to get your sex hormones balanced, if you want to get your thyroid balanced, you need to start with the right light signaling, starting with the first part of your day. And we go into all of that in Awaken Your Cycles. Movement strategies. Okay, I'm going to get real with y'all. This is when you need to turn into a professional walker. I'm not kidding. It's like, I like to think of this transition after turning 40, like all of my Sound of Music, Julie Andrews, obsession and just looking up to her as a child have come true. And I'm like, I am her. I'm on the top of a mountain, like so happy and singing, and I just walk everywhere. Like that is the vibe. Okay. That is the vibe we need to embrace in perimenopause, because